Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be doing a Stamblade video. We're going to go over our general class, information, gear, attribute points, CP points. We'll do a quick rotation at the end to see what we get. So we'll start off with our class, Stamblade, Red Guard, all points into Stam, Wolfhunter Stone. We're a werewolf right now, but I would probably do vampire if I was on live. Or you can do that, the sick memes of the werewolf build and be hated by everybody. And then right now we're using the lava foot food, and that's just for parsing. In a trial we would use blue food, max stam, max health. Or if you have trouble sustaining, we would use dubious or gold food. And for our gear, we are running Celine's Head and Shoulders for our monster set. All of our gear is Divines. And I'm running one heavy, one light for the monster set. Now you can run 2 medium and just run all medium for your gear. That's fine too, as long as you use max stam food so you're not missing out on too much health in the trial situation. And then Reliquin perfected Jack because I'm on the PTS. On live I only have the regular version of this. Perfected gear offers a fairly large DPS gain. Like, I've gotten up to 58k with perfected gear. My max without it is 53. And then for our jewelry, we're running an advancing Yukita. All weapon damage. And then personally I run 2 bloodthirsty, 1 infused. But really it's personal preference whether you want to run 3 bloodthirsty, 2 infused, 1 bloodthirsty. There is a DPS loss if you do it wrong, but it's not a whole hell of a lot. It's really not. And then we're running 2 daggers for advancing. If you don't have 2 daggers, I suggest putting an axe in your main hand. Again, depending on the group, the comp, Warhorn uptime, all the multiple variables is whether it's going to be better in the long run. Like straight parsing on a dummy, I've gotten more with 1 axe, 1 dagger because of the bleed damage, but in a trial with major force, the dual daggers might do you better. And main hand is Nirnhone, offhand precise. The difference between precise and infused in here is not very big, like a percent or 2 in damage. For advancing, I would probably run infused on the offhand. But if you don't have advancing and you don't have this setup, you can run Ravager, which you can buy in the guild store, which is completely acceptable. The difference between these 2 sets is minimal. And if you don't have that, you can run War Machine with it for the Major Slayer buff to your group. It's always really, really good to do to help out the team. And if you don't have that one, you can put VO there, you can put Briarheart there, you can put Hundings there if you really wanted to. And then Maelstrom Bow back bar infused. I run Disease on this just because I like changing out. For a prismatic fight, I change out the bow for the prismatic weapon enchant. And then I still have poisoned on my main hand to proc the poison bleed effect. And that's about it for there. If you don't have Reliquin, I suggest running the Hundings on your body pieces, and that way you can still have Advancing or Ravager or whatever other second set you have. Like for VMA, I would suggest Two Fang body, and then, or not Two Fang, VO body, and whatever other set you want to run, whether it's Ravager. I like Ravager. I also like Advancing in there. I also, Hundings is really good. And that's about it for that. Then we'll go to the champion points. Now these champion points are not optimized, but it's what I was using the last time I played my Stamblade. 56 Thalm, 56 Precise, 56 Mighty, 19 in Piercing, 66 at Master at Arms, and 7 in Physical Weapon Expert. 75 into Tumbling. For this one, I have this one just for the Treasure Hunter passive, so I get better loot from chests. You can distribute these 75 points wherever you want. I suggest Shadow Ward and Tumbling, so you get the block cost reduction for the things you have to block instead of dodge roll. And then 76 Mooncalf, 76 Tenacity. We don't really need Tenacity, because most of the time we never really have to heavy attack, because we're a Nightblade, and Nightblades are OP. So if you wanted to put like 100 in Mooncalf, whatever in that, and then just fill out your points however you really want, that's fine. It's as long as we have point at least 76 in Mooncalf, we're good to go. And then for the red tree, the red tree is content dependent. I almost always leave 81 in Ironclad, and then these points are switched out depending on what trial you do or dungeon you do. But a good standard setup is 56, 56, 56, and then 11. And that'll do you just fine in most content. For stuff that has a lot of like magic damage going out with it, you can take stuff out from Hardy and put it in a spell shield just to get your resistances up. And that's really pretty much it for that. We'll go into skills. Our back bar is Endless Hail, Rearming Trap, Razor Caltrops, Poison Injection, Leeching Strikes, and Incapacitating Strike. If you're using War Machine on your weapons and jewelry, you'll want to switch Incap up there, and you can just double bar it at that point, or if you want, because that's really the ultimate you're going to be using to spam to get the buff up time, so you'll just double bar Incap. If not, we use Flawless Dawnbreaker on the front bar for the extra weapon damage, Rearming Trap, Killer's Blade, Relentless Focus, Rending Slashes, and Surprise Attack. Now, why do I double bar Rearming Trap? One, it gives us extra weapon damage when we have 2 fighter skilled abilities on our front bar, because of this passive right here, Slayer. 3% for each fighter skilled ability slotted. Now this slot right here is kind of a flex spot, and for stuff like VMAL hard mode, and if you want, you can bring a Stamblade into VAS if you're feeling gutsy, and then we would put Blade Cloak on here. for the reduced AoE damage. And stuff like the warrior with the starfall, it's helpful for that too. So that's a flex spot, and it helps us with our rotation when we're using advancing and Ravager and those two sets, because we want to spend the most time on our front bar possible to get the 5-piece bonus up as much as possible. For the extra crit rating, or if we're doing Ravager, we want the extra weapon damage as much as possible to keep the stacks going. So, we'll go over the rotation a bit. So, at the start of every fight, we're gonna use our Relentless Focus and our Leeching Strikes just to keep them up. So we want to keep those buffs rolling as much as possible. And the start of every fight is, we're gonna start off with Endless Hail, Light Attack, Trap Beast, Light Attack, Razor Caltrops, Light Attack, Poison Injection, Light Attack, and Cap. And then we switch bars. And by that time, we should have a Spectral Bow ready to proc. So, Tail, Light Attack, Trap, Light Attack, Caltrops, Light Attack, Poison Injection, Light Attack, and Cap, Light Attack, Bar Swap. Like, we didn't do it fast enough, so we didn't get the Spectrum proc. But yeah, that's a really slowed down version of the rotation. And so when we bar swap, we go right into Light Attack, Rending Slashes, Light Attack, Surprise Attack, Light Attack, Surprise Attack, Light Attack, Surprise Attack. And then we refresh our buff, our Relentless Focus, Light Attack, Trap Beast, and then fire off Spectral Bow and bar swap. Now, if you do that rotation fast enough, you should be able to do all of that before Endless Hail runs out. And that's really what we're going for, to keep Endless Hail rolling the entire time. So the main thing is keeping our dots going the entire time. So, pop a potion at the start of the fight, get our buffs up, our rotation, now if you don't have a Spectral Bow ready to proc, you go right into Rending Slashes. As you can see, I messed up my rotation a little bit on that one. It is a rather difficult rotation to get the hang of. So, let's let this wear off. We'll try to showcase the rotation a little bit better for y'all. And during our execute phase, we swap out using Surprise Attack for Killer's Blade. If you want, you can drop Rending Slashes entirely, and you can drop Caltrops entirely just to get the extra execute damage going in, because Killer Blade hits for a lot. So one, two, three, reapply, or 2 seconds, and we go back. You know, rotate back bar. Alright, so now I'll show you a rotation, put it all together, And like I said, the execute phase, you start dropping skills in favor of Killer's Blade. I normally keep my dots going for my back bar. You always want endless hit going. You always want rearming trap up for the minor force. For the execute phase, you can drop razor caltrops, and you always want poison injection going because it does do execute damage. And if you're running low on stam, you want leeching strikes going so you get the extra stam regen. If you don't have stam problems in trials, you can. This is really dependent on whether you need to use it or not. You always want relentless focus going, and in a trial, you'll have fracture, so you won't need a surprise attack and execute. For dummy parses, it's kind of dependent. Try to get one off before you go into the execute, so you can kill the dummy with fracture applied to the target. And then you can drop rending slashes if you want, but it is a pretty substantial dot to keep going. So if you can squeeze it in right when you bar swap, that's really good. And then you Killer's Blade spam while weaving light attacks. Alright, let's get into this parse. Pop a potion at the beginning. Make sure we have our ult ready, which we do. Get our buffs up. Go into the parse. There you have it. Easy 51k. If you were watching, I did mess up my rotation quite a few times in there. And missed light attacks. The most important aspect of playing a Nightblade, and really any other class effectively, is your light attack weaving. Now, light attack weaving on your bow bar is problematic for me. That's why I generally don't play a Stamblade. I don't like the survivability of it. Other people are very, very good at it, and they do ridiculous amounts of DPS in trials with a Stamblade. But it's just personal preference from my point of view. I prefer Magicka, so I play a Magblade or a Magzork in a trial. But if you're a Stam person, I highly recommend playing a Stamblade. And because it's just far and away the hardest hitting Stam class at the moment. Let's see if we can get better parse this time. Get our ultimate up, and we'll do another quick parse since Nightblades are so quick at it. They do so much DPS. Like I said before, we're using salt rice, lava foot food, and that's just simulating using max health, max stamina food with getting orbs in a trial. It's a little more regen, but you'll be completely fine using max stam, max health food. You shouldn't need to run Dubious, but if you have to do a lot of mechanics, dodge, roll, block, that kind of thing, Dubious might help. But as long as you're keeping leeching strikes up and getting your light attacks in there, you should be fine for that. So we'll go into our parse again. So you can see we got just shy of 50k on that one, and it was a worse rotation. I did make a couple of more mistakes, and that's just going to show you how volatile a Nightblade is when you do the rotation. I will admit I am not the best Stamblade in the world. I am completely average at it. I weave fairly well, but I'm not the best at it. And it's by no means is it impossible to get, you know, close to 60k if you're better through rotation on a 6 million dummy. I've seen some really good numbers from Stamblades. I'm just not one, a Stam main, and two, I don't play Stamblade very often. So I hope this video was informative for you. Oh, I forgot to mention what potions we're running. We're running Essence of Weapon Power, and to go along with that, we have yeah, this one, the medicinal use passive. So we have 100% uptime on our buffs that we get from the potions. It's really important to use to have when you're a DPS. The falling off of the major brutality, major sorcery buffs is is really hurts your DPS. I'm just getting the medicinal use passive. You can gain 2 to 3k DPS on the dummy and in trials and everything else like that. So I highly suggest all your DPS characters get that passive. And really all characters get that passive because it's just so good. So yeah, I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Yeah, and have fun out there.